Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to lesson 5.9. Today we're going to be talking about line plots, and we are going to be using line plots to represent some data. And our data is going to be to try to figure out and answer questions about in what month does our class have the most birthdays. Okay, so we are going to start by learning what a line plot is. Okay, now look at this information here, right? This is a description kind of a line plot. So you might have, I know you've seen these once before in third grade, but probably not too much. A line plot uses X's to show each piece of data, right? So you can look at this line plot up here. It has a title. It always has titles that describe the information in the graph. And then it has what's called a horizontal axis. Remember, horizontal means sideways. And these are labeled with numbers or sometimes other things, but usually numbers. And then the number of X's represent the number of people or the number of whatever it is that you're counting. Okay. In this case, it's hours spent watching TV. And so down here is the number of hours. So that means this line plot means that one person watched 3 hours of TV and 3 people watched 8 hours of TV. So now this question that's often asked about line plots is what was the most amount of TV watched? Hey, now think carefully about that question. What was the most amount of TV watched? Because your first instinct is to look for the tallest bar. 5. 5 has the most. But listen to the question again. Which was the most amount of TV watched? Well, 5 hours is a lot, but 10 hours is the most, right? This is also called the maximum. Okay, the most watched TV was 10 hours. What was the least watched TV? Careful. What is the least amount of TV that was watched? Okay, if you said 4, I know what you're thinking, but listen to the question again. What was the least amount of TV watched? Well, 4 hours would be a lot of TV. 0 hours would be the least. Okay, so this is called the minimum. The maximum and the minimum. The most and the least. Now, sometimes we ask what is the most common answer. Now we're looking for the tallest stack, right? The most common or the most frequent answer, or the answer that had the most responses. Okay, so you really have to think about the question that somebody might be asking. We are going to look at this, right? If we have a line plot here and a bar graph here. First, let's think about how are these two things similar? Okay, they're both ways to represent data. They both have titles. They both have an x-axis here, a horizontal axis. They have the names of the months. They have the same label. How are they different? All right, mainly in the how they're shown here, right? There's X's here, there's bar graphs here. But one other thing I want to show you is there's nothing that we write up the side here on a line plot. But on a bar graph, we do, right? And we label that here. Okay, so there's a couple differences between line plots and bar graphs. Our goal today was going to be to record some data on a line plot and answer questions regarding that data. And you can see there's line plots right in our standards. We're going to actually get later in the year to line plots that have fractions. Today's just kind of an introduction to line plots. So I want you to take a look here at this blank line plot. Okay, I told you we were going to make it about birthdays. So we're going to call this room 17 birthdays. Why did I put a capital here and here? Because it's the title, right? The title, first word gets capitalized and the last word gets capitalized. If there were any other important words, they would get capitalized too. Okay, so birthday. Oh, forgot an S. Birthdays. And then down here, we're going to label our months. So let's see. Let's see if I can get this in the right spot. So J for January. And then February, March, April, May, June, June, no, June, July. These are kind of running together, aren't they? Here, let's make a space there. July, August, September, October, November, December. All right, when's your birthday? All right, I heard all sorts of months here. So we're going to be using X's to show those things, right? So mine's in October, so my X would go here. I heard 2 Novembers. I'm not going to be able to get them all on here, but I'll show you in just a moment. And then remember, as we have more than one, we stack those on top of each other. Now, one thing that I haven't done yet is done this label. Now, how do you know what to write here? Well, you look at these. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. What are those? Those are months, right? So all we have to do down here is write months. That's our label, right? Whatever these are. Now, if these are numbers, you have to label what they're standing for. So look at, let's see, we'll go back to this first one. See this, they're numbers. They don't write the word numbers here. These are numbers that represent hours. So we can put hours there. It might be feet, it might be inches, might be months, might be days, might be anything that you can measure or record on a line plot. So when I was finished here, I have a bunch of birthdays here. Hopefully I got yours. I'm sorry if I didn't. And then we can use this line plot to answer some questions. So let's look. What is the earliest birthday in the year? Right? So this is the minimum. What's the earliest one? Well, there it is. January, right? January is the earliest. What is the latest birthday in the year, right? So we want to know the most, the long, if we were counting the number of days, who has to wait the most for their birthday from the beginning of the year? Now, what do you think? All right, if you said December, I understand, but no one picked December. No December birthdays on our chart here. So our answer, we can't pick one that we don't have. Our answer here is November. These are the latest birthdays in this class. All right. Other questions we might have. What is the most common birthday month in our class? Now we're looking for the tallest stacks. I see 2 months. Which 2 months tied for the most common, most frequent answer? August, right, with 4, and November with 4. How many students were born in April? Should have said 3, right? 3 X's for April. How many students were born in the summer months of June, July, and August? So we need to look at these 3 summer months and add them all together. How much? Okay, I had 8. Did you have 8 too? I hope so. And our last question is, how many students were born after October? All right, so October is here. So we're not going to count October because it said after October. So it's everything here, right? We would add November and December, which have nothing. And our answer here would be 4, right? If we asked how many students were born before June, we wouldn't count June, but we'd count everything before June. And we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is how we can use line plots to organize data, right? And to be able to then answer questions about that data. A lot of scientists, right? The big science connection here. scientists certainly use this, as do mathematicians. All right, here is what we are going to do. Go ahead and open up to page 174. All right, so when you are on this page, what you're going to be doing first is recording these weights. Here, let's read it. A fourth grade class at Hillside Elementary School used a spring scale to weigh their full backpacks and recorded the weight to the nearest fourth of a pound. And so you can see that they have set up their horizontal axis, which is sometimes called an x-axis. And here's all their data, right? So the first kid had 4 pounds. So put an X right here on 4. And the next one had 6.5. So 6.5, where does that go? Well, right here between 6 and 7. Then 7.5. And what you're going to see, we'll do 4.5. And I would cross these off as you go. Okay, what happens a lot of times when somebody doesn't solve these right, they don't quite make the line plot correctly. And then this is the last one I want to show you. 7 1/4. Well, 7 1/4, these are cut into 4 jumps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 between whole numbers. So 7 1/4 goes right there. Now, eventually you'll get to some that are doubles, right? And then you'll stack those on top of each other. So your goal here today is to finish this backpack weights line plot, and then you have some questions about that. Okay, there's a few questions here. Page 1, but down at the bottom, numbers 1 through 4 are there, and then you're going to stop after number 8. You can see big X through 9 and 10. Okay, so you are going to be doing questions 1 through 8 after you make the line plot. All right, 4th graders, if you need any help or have any questions about line plots or backpacks or birthdays, please let me know, and good luck.